Hello everybody and welcome back to MyHeroFandom. It's your partial star, Bradley and...
/ semi-star, Billy, whatever you want to call us.
Yeah, alright, well that's out of the way. So we got some pretty interesting topics for you guys. A little bit delayed on this video, but it's alright.
We've been busy.
Yeah, we've been a little bit busy. So the first thing we're going to talk about is one of the most interesting things that Billy and I have been discussing. Jesus, I can't even talk today. Is the most useless quirks. And I mean, I can start, Billy, or if you want to go ahead and start us off.
I don't mind starting because this is going to be a really fun topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been ready for this one. A lot of you might not agree on this one, but I mean, I'm taking my standpoint on practicality in any fight, any area. You know, yes, they're all going to be useful in certain aspects, but just how many? First one, and this is a shocker to most of you, I'm sure. Ingenium, or the new Ingenium after Ingenium's crippled.
Yeah, Tenya, his little brother, yeah.
Yeah, his little brother. Okay, I understand that he can kick people in the face really fast, but they're just little jet turbo things on his legs. How far can that carry him? Yes, he can run fast, but I mean, the Flash can do that, I mean, yeah, he can't punch really, really fast. I mean, he might have really strong leadership, being the
head of the class,
being the head of the class and, formulating plans and stuff, but his plans really aren't all that good. I mean, the one thing that he did was run fast to get help whenever the villains attacked the first time trying to kill All Might. And whenever the hero killer or hero slayer,
the hero killer.
What's his name?
I know that he was going by hero killer as his like super villain name. But going on to a little thing when you said that he's pretty much useless, I agree, and I kind of connect that to his kicking, because if you saw that he burns out if he goes so hard, it kind of reminds me of Deku in a way.
He had to rely on Todoroki freezing his turbos or whatever.
Yeah, had to rely on Todoroki for doing that for him. And I think that it's kind of like he's kind of almost like Deku in a way, because Deku could only use so much percentage of one for all. And that was starting off where he'd hurt himself every time. Even if he could even control 5% starting off, and then you get to see that you see him whenever he's in a dire situation where he's going to be killed. He tries to go all out, and then he blows his engines, and so he's got to recuperate, recover,
rely on other people's
on other people. Yeah, I see for him in the future, he is like, because when they graduate from the Hero Academy, they all go and they're on not the apprenticeship, but they're a sidekick. He's gonna be a sidekick. I mean, already you see he's one of the main characters, but
he should be a sidekick.
I don't see him becoming a hero. There's nothing that he could be useful for unless he's gonna be going and like say like there's a big Numa attack and he's going to rescue citizens to get them out of the way, or he's with the fire department getting people out of a burning building.
Saving other heroes.
Yeah, saving other heroes. He's not going to be one of the attackers like Bakugo or Todoroki or Deku, any of those.
Yeah.
But so now that there's one person I'd like to bring up, and I think you want to comment on this in a minute, is grape juice.
Oh God.
When I first started watching the show, grape juice, I honestly almost stopped watching the show because of how boring I thought he was, and his voice was annoying,
and how pervy he is.
Yeah, and how pervy he is. Like he's just disgusting in a way. I mean, he's just not really. I mean, you see that in almost every anime, but he's just, his power is useless. He throws these little sticky purple balls, and that's it. I mean, it's useless. I don't see him being a sidekick. I honestly see him as one of those characters that he was a filler character for a bit, and he's going to eventually fade out. I don't see them continuing with him. Like, I think the final three that they're really going to focus on is just Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki.
I would agree with that. I'd say with the main villain fights, it's going to be focused around them. Like Hero Killer, he was strong, and his quirk is definitely not useless. I mean, it becomes tricky whenever he has to fight multiple people, with his blood quirk and everything. But the main thing going back to Grape Juice is, like, his quirk really can only save himself. It's a very selfish quirk in a way, if you think about it. Like, the fact that he doesn't stick to the walls and everything, he can use that to get himself out of sticky situations, but not very many of them. I mean, and at the first attack of the villains, whenever their big plan to kill All Might, even the other heroes in training kind of, nudge off his quirk as something useless. But, I mean, like, just like animes do, they tie in a way to where it was useful for one moment. But that's just one moment. And that's what this is all about, useless quirks, man. And that's really what his is.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think that those two that we've talked about are going to be the main two, really, that we've seen from the series so far that are going to be the most useless characters. And I mean, we might be wrong, we might be right. I mean, I think we're
right.
I think we're right in this situation. I don't think that we're going to see very much of these characters here soon. And now going ahead and bringing up another topic that we're wanting to discuss. And I think that's going to be Bakugo. And I had covered him a little bit in an earlier episode of MyHeroFandom. And my thoughts on him, and I think we discussed this a little bit in our video we made about All Might, is that I honestly think that he's going to become a villain. And then honestly, here's a little theory of mine, what I think is going to happen. And then this is a stretch. So you notice that Todoroki has no relation with his father. And
doesn't want
it. Yes. I don't see that. I don't see them ever having a connection throughout the entire show.
I see them potentially fighting in the future.
Yeah, I could see them fighting, but here's what my thoughts is on Bakugo. I think that when he graduates, is going to be a sidekick for Endeavor, because, I mean, he's got fire, so they would match up perfectly.
They really would. And Endeavor already is kind of a malicious villain.
Yeah, you see that he's kind of a villain, and you see Bakugo's kind of a villain. I think what you're going to see is that because you see Endeavor has a hatred for All Might, and you see Bakugo has the hatred for Deku. I think that we're going to see a little bit of a clash between them, and I don't think that they're both going to stay good. I don't think they're going to go straight evil, but I think they're going to be the people who, I reference Dragon Ball a lot, but kind of a Vegeta of the group,
Right.
He's neutral. I mean,
he goes off the rails, and whenever he goes Majin, kills a whole stand of people. I could see Bakugo doing that. His quirk is very devastating, just like Endeavor's is. I thought it was really cool that you brought up that he might become a sidekick to Endeavor, because that might be something more than just a thought, between you and I. Because you got to think, Endeavor has a lot of pride, and so does Bakugo. They have a lot of pride, and usually the prideful characters in animes, you see progression on them working towards breaking that. Vegeta eventually is broken, and he starts to love Bulma.
Trunks.
I think it's funny that we bring in Dragon Ball a lot, but I mean, there are a lot of correlations with that show and other animes.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the biggest animes ever created, arguably, and a lot of the stuff. I mean, people who create animes look for that for some sort of guidance. So, I mean, I think that a lot of shows are going to have a little bit of somewhat of a respect for the show, so they're going to try to at least get some ideas, not copy it, but try to base some of their characters off the big heroes like Goku or Vegeta and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I like Bakugo, I really do, or Kachan if you want to call him. I mean, I call him Bakugo, but I really got a spot in my heart for him, just because I think that his life was, it doesn't show his whole life growing up. I think he was kind of given the short end of the stick. I think that he was kind of had a horrible life growing up, and I don't want him to go evil, but I really see with the way his character is, he's going to end up becoming one of the evil ones of the group. I mean, I could see him going with One for All. If it's his way, if he can kill Deku like that by siding with One for All, he'll do it, because he wants to kill Deku.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't I don't know if he necessarily wants to kill him. I think in the future he could want to kill him if his pride keeps getting bigger and bigger, and he keeps getting way in over his head. I think it could start some villainous thoughts in his head and everything. But I honestly don't mind seeing him as a villain, and the reason why is I think it could open up a really good story between him and Deku trying to pull him back to the good side and everything like that. And All right, and we are back now after a minor interruption. Sorry about that, guys. Back to what I was saying, though, about the relationship between Deku and Bakugo in the future, how it could potentially pan out if he becomes villainous and everything. It could really create a really interesting story, I feel like. Something just like what we've seen in the show before, and in other animes, one hero turning dark and the main character trying to pull them back to the good side, because Bakugo and Deku, they have a really long relationship, something that the other heroes really don't have with each other. And yeah, I mean, All Might said it before when they were doing the final exam, when they had to fight All Might, the conflict that they have with each other and how that it affects their fights, it affects their mental state. And in the future, I think it could really affect the whole story and the whole storyline, like a whole season dedicated to Bakugo being villainous and Deku fighting him and stuff. Because I don't think that Bakugo is necessarily going to be an easy person to take down, even for Deku with a one for all.
Yeah, easily. And we'll do. Let's go ahead and do one more little quick topic on Todoroki, because then we'll wrap it up real quick. And so my thoughts on Todoroki real quick is that I'm really excited to see this character and where he's going to pan out. I mean, honestly, I think that him and Deku are going to be like best friends in a way. I mean, you've already seen they both have a mutual respect for each other. I think that, in another reference to Dragon Ball, I think we're going to have a Goku-Vegeta relationship with the two. They're going to be wanting to, I mean, you saw it in the final battle with those two.
In the final battle, the tournament.
Yeah, you saw it with them, that they had some sort of already a rivalry going on, and I think that that's going to be an awesome thing we're going to be able to see throughout the entire series, that watching them compete against each other to be the best. I mean, I'm really excited to watch. And Todoroki, I'm a fanboy of him. I like that half ice, half heat. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorites.
The backstory between his father and his mother, obviously, it's depressing. That's what makes me not like Endeavor. You know, he bitch slapped his wife. You know, I mean, like, how much of a hero can you be if you're willing to do that?
Yeah.
Which caused her to put boiling water on Todoroki's face in the future anyway, because of her relationship with her husband. It was not good. It was forced. You know, I mean, it really creates an interesting character with Todoroki. And after the tournament, him and Deku, you can see the spark between the relationship open up. And then I just remembered his name, when they fight Stain, the hero killer.
Yeah.
They really worked together. They were the ones who controlled that fight. They saved Ingenium with his useless quirk.
Yep.
You know, Todoroki is one of those people who does not have a useless quirk. He has a very diverse one. He has the power of fire and ice, people.
Yeah, and I think he'd be a really good person for us to cover for sure in another video solely about him. I mean, I'd like to get in a lot of detail about him. But I think right here would probably be a good place to stop. I mean, what do you think? I think we're at a pretty good...
We covered our topics for tonight. I guess the only other thing is postulate our next topics for the future video. I think a really good one would be to focus on the current events, information we can find on the next season coming up.
Yeah, for
something
sure.
that we can talk about to bring to you guys, something to look forward to, something really about the show, not just theories that we have.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have any suggestions or comments for us to talk about, just leave a comment below, and feel free to like and subscribe to us. I mean, we need the help. We're a small growing channel.
It would be much appreciated.
Alrighty, well, this is Bradley and Billy. We're going to go ahead and sign off.
See you later.